Natsuki Subaru is the main protagonist of the anime, light novel, and manga series Rezero Starting Life in Another World. Written by Tappei Nagatsuki, Rezero follows Subaru as he is mysteriously transported to a fantasy world and given a unique power: the ability to return to a specific point in time whenever he dies, an ability he dubs Return by Death. Here's a deep dive into Subaru's character. 1. Personality. Subaru starts as a typical NEET, not in education, employment, or training, often seen as lazy, sarcastic, and somewhat self-centered. He has a vivid imagination, often jokingly imagining himself as a hero in typical isekai scenarios. But the harsh reality of the new world he's thrust into forces him to grow and mature. Bravery and determination. Despite being physically weak and powerless, Subaru is incredibly resilient. After experiencing countless deaths, both his own and those of others he cares about, Subaru develops a strong sense of responsibility and does everything in his power to protect the people around him, especially Emilia, the main heroine. Emotional struggles. Subaru's frequent encounters with death leave deep emotional scars. He deals with severe stress, trauma, and guilt, particularly because he is unable to tell anyone about his ability without disastrous consequences. Despite this, he keeps moving forward, which becomes a key aspect of his character. Growth and humility. Initially, Subaru struggles with arrogance and has delusions of grandeur, thinking that he can solve all problems because of his special ability. However, repeated failures and realizations of his own weaknesses force him to grow. He learns humility and the value of relying on others. 2. Return by Death. This is Subaru's most defining feature. Return by Death resets the world to a previous save point every time Subaru dies. However, there are some key nuances. Limited control. Subaru cannot choose when or where his save points appear. They change after certain significant events in the story. Secrecy. Subaru cannot openly talk about Return by Death. Any attempt to do so results in a supernatural force, often symbolized by the Witch of Envy, freezing time, or threatening him and those around him. Emotional toll. Every death leaves Subaru with vivid memories of his pain and suffering. This leads to extreme emotional trauma, but he has to face these experiences again and again without giving up. 3. Relationships. Subaru's relationships with the other characters drive much of the narrative and his personal development. Emilia. Subaru is deeply infatuated with Emilia, a half-elf girl who is vying to become the ruler of the kingdom. Subaru's desire to protect her is one of his biggest motivations. While his feelings for her start as romantic, they mature over time into deep admiration and respect. He eventually becomes one of her most loyal and supportive allies. Rem. One of the twin maids who serve Emilia, Rem initially distrusts and even kills Subaru in one of the early timelines. But after Subaru saves her and shows her genuine kindness, she falls in love with him. Rem's feelings for Subaru are much more overt than Emilia's, but Subaru, while cherishing Rem, confesses that his heart belongs to Emilia. Rem's unwavering support becomes a key source of strength for Subaru. Beatrice. A mysterious and powerful spirit, Beatrice initially appears cold and indifferent, but Subaru eventually builds a deep bond with her. Their relationship is marked by mutual understanding and a sense of shared loneliness. Friends and allies. Subaru also develops close relationships with various other characters, including Reinhard, Wilhelm, Krush, and Julius, who become his allies in different parts of the story. 4. Character development and growth. Mental fortitude. Over the course of the series, Subaru's experiences strengthen his mental fortitude. Early on, he breaks down repeatedly from the pain and horror of his constant deaths, but as time goes on, he learns to endure it. Leadership and strategy. Subaru is not physically strong, but he learns to become a capable strategist. By leveraging his knowledge from Return by Death, he can outwit enemies, form alliances, and inspire others to fight alongside him. Empathy. His ability to understand the perspectives and struggles of others improves as he suffers more himself. He learns to be more compassionate, seeing people as individuals with their own pain and desires. 5. Themes surrounding Subaru: mortality and consequence. Subaru's ability to return to life after dying seems like a cheat ability, but it is a double-edged sword. The emotional impact of repeatedly experiencing death and loss is central to Subaru's journey. Isolation. The fact that Subaru cannot share his secret with anyone creates an immense sense of isolation. He often feels alone in his struggle, which contributes to his mental anguish. Hope and despair. The juxtaposition of hope and despair is a recurring theme in Subaru's character arc. For every moment of triumph, there is a moment of intense failure, and Subaru must navigate these highs and lows. 6. Abilities. Outside of return by death, Subaru is not particularly powerful in a traditional sense. Weak physical strength. He has very little combat training, though he occasionally uses a sword or takes part in battle. Shamak, a shadow magic spell taught to him by Puck, Emilia's spirit companion. It creates a fog that affects the senses but is unreliable and often hurts Subaru as much as it does his enemies. Strategist. His true strength lies in his ability to gather information, build alliances, and devise plans based on his repeated experiences of the same events. Subaru often plays the role of the brains behind the operations. 7. Witch's influence. Subaru has a strong connection to Satella, the Witch of Envy, one of the most powerful and feared figures in the Rezero world. It's implied that she is the one who gave him the return by death ability. Satella appears to have an obsession with Subaru, though her exact reasons remain mysterious. Natsukisubaru is a deeply complex character whose journey is not only one of physical survival, but also emotional growth. His character embodies the idea that strength comes not from raw power, but from persistence, determination, and the ability to overcome personal weaknesses. His relationships, mental struggles, and growth make him one of the most compelling protagonists in modern isekai anime.